16 minutes past 9 here on the Radio Wammo Show.
The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Game junkie Gerard Campbell.
Commander Shepard?
He has no idea what he's getting into. To his credit, he's recruiting an impressive team. Assassins, scientists, biotics. He's scouring the galaxy for the best. Ilium.
What you're hearing there is the trailer to Mass Effect 2, a massive game by all accounts that is on the Xbox, and Gerard Campbell is our game junkie. He's going to tell us all about it. Stuff.co.nz and Game Junkie NZ on Twitter as well. G'day there, Gerard.
Good morning, Wammo. Good morning.
Is it just the Xbox or other consoles as well?
Xbox is the only exclusive console, and it's on PC as well.
Okay.
So only Xbox 360 and PC.
Now, you're looking a little bit tired at the moment, Gerard. Why would that be?
Well, I've got to admit that, I think I picked the game up last Wednesday, and it's been one of those ones. There's very few that do it, but, I've had a few 2 a.m. finishes because it really is that good. It's I think we talked about it last year that, games like Assassin's Creed and Uncharted 2, those sorts of games that they have, there's something special about them that actually makes you want to keep playing, and you start playing and you say, I'll play it for an hour, I've only got much time, and you say, well, I'll do one more mission, and then suddenly you look at your watch and think, hell, it's 2 a.m., I've got to get up at 7 to go to work, that sort of thing. So I've put a lot of hours, but I mean, this it's huge. It's a huge game, and we're only in February now, and Mass Effect 2 is already shaping up to be a really strong contender for Game of the Year. I think the scale is so immense, and it's just so big, and anything that anybody's read about it, it really is that good, It really is that good.
So what's it about? I mean, what's the story behind this one?
It was on course first effect, and then from Bible all to great, a role-playing game, Star Wars: The Old Republic, and those sort of things, and Dragon Age Origins, which we looked at last year. So they've got a really strong history in role-playing games, and in Mass Effect 2, it carries on, I think, a couple of years after the first Mass Effect. And in Mass Effect 2, you're playing a lead character as a commander called Shepard, and you can either play him as a woman or a man. And it's his job in Mass Effect 2 to save the galaxy from this alien race called the Collectors, which are going around basically decimating human populations from all the planets around the galaxy and using technology. And it's up to your job, the ultimate story is to defeat the Collectors. The really great thing that I'm finding with Mass Effect 2, and was like this in Mass Effect 1 as well, but I think I'm sort of gelling more with Mass Effect 2, is that the story is incredibly deep. There are so many backstories and side stories, and you initially start the game with, and I won't spoil anything for anybody, but the opening sequence is probably one of the best opening sequences that I've ever seen. It's one of those real it's one of those oh shit moments. I didn't think that was going to happen.
Right.
So it's incredible, and for the first part of the game, you're spending time. You've got to recruit about 5 or 6 different crew members to the crew of the ship, the Normandy, and then they're going to help you in your assault on the Collectors. So you're doing a lot of traveling to planets. Doing missions to get these characters. There's there's an assassin you've got to pick up. There's a woman called Jack who had experiments done on her as a child, so she's got and the gameplays. You've got normal weapons, you've got guns and rocket launchers and pistols and everything, but you've also got what they call biotic powers, and I sort of think they're the same sort of things. Like Star Wars, the force powers. You could push people, you can fire projectiles at people. So, you've got these biotic powers that you can combine with your armaments as well. So that adds nice dimension as well. But I think for me, the thing that is really drawing me into this game is it's the story and the relationships you can develop with characters. Initially, when you talk to new characters that you're recruiting, your discussion options are quite limited. But as you form more of a relationship with them and you try and gain their loyalty, your options for dialogue become bigger. You can actually delve really, really deeply into their story and why they're there. And the interesting thing too is that if a couple of stages during the game, if you pissed one character off and then go off and do a mission, when you come back to that character next time, they've still remembered that you've annoyed them, so they're a lot colder towards you, so you have to work harder to get their loyalty. I think compared to the first Mass Effect 2 is a lot more action orientated.
Yeah.
Whereas the first one had a lot more inventory management, and I think it had a lot deeper role-playing element. Mass Effect 2 it's still got some elements of role-playing, but I think it's a lot lighter than the first game, and I think here the really strong emphasis is on the combat. There's lots of shooting and things, and the story progression. And another thing that I think is really interesting is that during discussions with people or certain situations, you have options. One's called a Paragon and one's called a Renegade option. And basically what that is that depending on the situation, you can either, and I'm playing on the Xbox, so you can either pull, if a little icon flashes up on the screen, if you pull the left trigger, that's going to do what they call a Paragon, I guess, option, which means you're going to take a nice option. You might be, more accommodating to somebody. But if you do the Renegade option, you might want to be the bad guy. You might shoot a gas canister that's going to catch fire and then blow up an enemy, and then that'll cause the other enemies to sort of get nervous and jumpy. So you can mix it up, being good cop, bad cop. And I think that's a really interesting angle.
Yeah, to take the good route or the evil route. Yeah.
Yeah, you can, and it's interesting because and you can see your actions playing out as the story. Story continues and how it impacts on other players. And, you're trying to form, really solid relationships with your crew members as well. So I think that's a really important part of the game. So, so you can spend a lot of time there. And you've got aspects like, you've got to mine planets for resources. And I mean, that is a wee bit tedious. You basically got to enter a galaxy, pick a planet, press a button, scan the surface, pick up minerals. And so, I mean, that does get a wee bit tedious, but I think I've put something like 20 hours into this so far, and they're saying that, you could realistically be looking at 28 to 30 hours,
right,
by the time it's concluded.
Yeah.
But, it doesn't seem like, when I checked last night to see how many hours I put into it, I actually thought to myself, heck, it doesn't seem as though I've put that much time into it, because it's just drawn me in so immensely. So I'm very, very impressed with that.
And it's like, and you haven't stalled anywhere either.
And any sort of
in the game at all.
No, nothing. And I think the great thing about it is that it can be played very differently by different people. So of course everybody's going to get a different a story. Ultimately you're all heading towards the same goal, so you're all going to meet the same thing. But you don't have to do all the missions if you don't want to. So if I'd wanted to, 5 hours ago, I could have gone to what they call mass relay, which are almost like the time gates, will send you into the alien dimension and then go and take on the aliens. And I could have done that 5 hours ago, but I thought, no, I want to explore the galaxy, and I want to get as much out of this as I can. So it's just flowing seamlessly, which is really, really impressive.
All right, well, that's Mass Effect 2. Next week we'll talk about Bad Company 2, Battlefield Bad Company 2. It's the game that's been taking my attention over the past few days. It's not out yet, but it's just the demo. But I never thought a demo could absorb as much time as this one has, which holds a lot of promise, I suppose, for the game when it actually comes out.
Now, the demo that you're playing, is that the single player or is it like a multiplayer demo?
It's multiplayer demo on the Xbox. Yeah. And there's a lot of people in there. There's over, I think, over 100,000, but last time I looked in there. So.
Wow. Yeah, because I had a look at I'm having a look at the PC beta at the moment, and had a couple of rounds last night, and yeah, same thing. Incredibly busy, incredibly popular, and I think this is going to be shaping up to be one of the big titles of the year as well. So you will have a nice sensation to be able to put some more rounds in this week and see how many times I can get sniped or blown up by an Abrams tank or something.
I might see you in there.
Good will do.
Cheers, Gerard.
Thanks, you, Wammo.
Check out his Game Junkie blog at stuff.co.nz, and also, of course, his Twitter handle as well, twitter.com/GameJunkieNZ.